What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 37 of the Game Room Podcast. I'm your host, Rome, alongside my co-host, Dev.
Hey, what's up?
Our other co-hosts, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Gengar, and Eevee.
We're all here.
Yep, and producer Jeff is here as well. How are you doing, producer Jeff?
I'm doing excellent. My pizza just got here right on time, so.
Nope. Well, we have a pretty cool show lined up for us tonight. We got Baldur's Gate 3 is finally coming to Xbox, some Gears 6 rumors, Starfield's coming out, Ubisoft, they're doing something. We're going to talk about that as well. And the PlayStation Portal. Is it going to be good? Don't say anything. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah.
Let's get right into the news headlines, though. Let's start with Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. So the game was at Gamescom. A lot of people were speculating that the game was going to release. There was a rumor that it was going to release in December. They did put out a little, it was like an FAQ on their site, I believe it was. And to Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl will release on PC and Xbox Series in Q1 2024. The game will be a Game Pass Day 1 release. Pre-orders are opened on the website as well as Steam and GOG, along with physical copies, because any self-respecting video game will come out with a copy. So I mean, it sucks to see the game, pushed back a little bit, but I mean, I'm excited for it, and obviously, it's one of the most understanding reasons to be pushed back with what the dev team is dealing with over in Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, I'm more than willing to be patient, and honestly, it's probably for the best for the game overall. The year is so stacked as it is, so it just makes.
I was gonna say, do you see that? You see that first comment? It's like the year is packed anyway. Good move.
Yeah, that's right, another thing too.
We got Ty here. What's up, Ty? How you doing, man?
And I hope the game is good. Hey, Ty. Yeah, I hope they make a lot of money.
I believe Ty has been playing Starfield. Ty probably can't say anything because he's under embargo. Ty, blink once if you're enjoying Starfield. He can't say anything.
Yeah.
But let's move on to headline number 2. Certain Affinity, which has been a studio that has assisted 343 in the Halo games, are working on their own original FPS after years of doing so with 343.
Okay.
After years of serving support studio for major projects such as Halo Infinite, Doom, and Perfect Dark, Certain Affinity is once again striking out on its own with an original project codenamed Project Loro. This news was revealed by company founder and CEO Max Hoberman on X, formerly Twitter today. It's Twitter. I was watching a Phillies home run by Red X. I usually don't. It's Twitter. Nobody calls it X. Did you? Oh, I didn't put this in the headlines. And producer Jeff, I wanted to ask you too. Did you guys see that? So Elon Musk went to a Valorant tournament.
Oh wow!
And he got booed. And they were chanting "Bring back Twitter."
Yeah,
that's great.
I saw that.
Probably loves it, honestly.
I don't know if he loves being booed. The guy is a total narcissist. He wants people to
I think it's just a big marketing ploy for attention to the site. It's kind of working, but not
people
at the same time.
Because of it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's working. I wouldn't say that. But anyways, back to the topic. Yes, Certain Affinity is working on their own FPS. I think it's good for them. I think it's cool to kind of give them that spot.
Yeah,
they've been working on these little side projects for Xbox, and now to get them in there and let them make their own game. Let's see what they can come up with.
I think it's cool when support studios are able to go and do their own thing instead of being tied to I think Crystal Dynamics right now is working on, and it'll be cool when they get their own when they're freed up. You know what I mean?
Well, Crystal Dynamics has made their own great game in the past.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want them to go back.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now they're tied up.
TJ says blink.
Yeah, blink. Oh man, jeez. Ugh, can't wait. Anyway, let's move on to headline number 3. Phil Spencer is trying to figure out how to play non-backwards compatible Xbox 360, them around and preserve them. As we reported last week, the Xbox 360 store front is closing July 29th, 2024. After that day, it will no longer be possible to buy games via the Xbox 360 marketplace. And there was a lot of misconceptions about it. The backwards compatible titles will still be available on the Series X and
you just can't buy games on the 360 store.
You just can't go to the 360 marketplace specifically and buy those games.
Yeah.
Now the problem is that what do you do with the games that are not backwards compatible? Compatible for whatever reason. Phil Spencer addressed it in an interview with Eurogamer when he was at Gamescom. He said he'd love to find solutions. He said there's a list of 220 games that are not back compat, and I have that list and I've got it stapled on my forehead. Like, how can we make sure you can play them? How many of those are on PC? That's one thing, because it doesn't necessarily mean you need to be able to play the existing hardware that you bought 15 years ago. But preservation is front and center when all these decisions are made, Spencer said. I will say for us that preservation that's linked to only one piece of hardware is a challenge, because there can be hardware love as well. People who love and want this device to do this forever. But mechanical things will break over time. And that's why we gave the decision this year. Let's say, hey, if you want to go buy things 360 store, giving you a head start, you can go do that. I don't know what they could do, but I would like to think that maybe there's something that possibly could be done to kind of carry these things over.
It's either going to be a legal issue or a technical issue. And if it's anything technical, I think PC is the way to go. You can probably put all those games on PC. If it's legal, that's trickier, and there'll probably be games you can't get on for legal reasons, but, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that was Phil's point. He's like, I mean, how many of these games are specifically on PC?
Yeah.
Did you guys see the trailer for Rebel Moon? I'm not going to lie to you. Another movie thing came up during a games thing, and I was just like, skip.
I didn't
watch it. I did not watch it.
I did see the trailer as an ad for something. It looked really good. I'm going to watch it because it looked really good, and I think
Zack Snyder said it was like Star Wars with sex or something like that.
Yeah, I saw an article. I didn't click on it, but it was like just Star Wars, not for kids or something like that. Like,
it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I think it's more like, I don't know, it's his own universe and he wants to create something. It looks cool. The trailer looked really good, so I'm going to watch it.
All right, moving on to the next headline. Todd Howard. Everyone's asking him Starfield questions, but he also got asked a few questions about Elder Scrolls 6.
He's so sick of it. If I was Todd Howard.
So, some things that he said, quotes, he said, we want, in terms of what he expects from Elder Scrolls 6, we wanted to fill that role of the ultimate fantasy world simulator. Todd will likely be 60 years old by the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. He was asked about it if he has a succession plan in place for someone to take over him, when he retires. And he says, I want to do it forever. I think the way I work will probably evolve, but look at Miyamoto. The Nintendo icon turned 71 this year.
That's a good point.
He's still doing it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, if Todd loves what he does and he just wants to keep making these games, and
with Bethesda's cycle though, I do only see maybe 2 more games in his.
Yeah, like 2, 3.
Yeah.
I think he demands one more Elder Scrolls and one more Fallout.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
But, he has high expectations and high hopes for what Elder Scrolls 6 will become. It being the ultimate fantasy world simulator. What does that look like? The ultimate? When someone says, hey, this is the ultimate fantasy world simulator.
When Skyrim was the first game on my 360 that I dove into and lost life in that game. I remember in high school, I would just come home and just play Skyrim. And I did that for 3 months. And it's my favorite of the Bethesda cycle, between the Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, and who knows about Starfield yet. So I don't know. I think it's going to be very handcrafted. It won't be too much procedural generated. It'll be very big. I don't know. It's going to be really fun. You still have to play Skyrim.
Yeah, I have to finish. I started it years ago.
Okay.
And then it just kind of got put on the back burner.
Do you know how many hours you put?
Not very far.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I forget why. I think something else had come out that month, or when I had picked it up.
There was something else.
So when it came out, that was actually a point where I didn't have money.
Okay.
I was broke. So I wasn't buying games for that. There was a 6 or 7 month span where I just didn't buy anything. There was a bunch of games I missed out on that year.
I mean, that's a perfect game.
I think that was 2011. Yeah, that was 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, I missed out on a bunch of games that year.
Was it 2011?
I think it was
Skyrim came out.
I think
I was still in high school.
Yeah, we had just gotten out.
Yeah, it had to be before.
I don't know. Anyways, regardless, I wasn't really buying a lot of games, so I didn't play it. And then I bought it a few years later, started it, and then something else came out that I really wanted.
Phillies have taken the lead 5-4 with 2 men on, no outs.
You're right. It's 2011.
It was 2011. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly the time I thought it came out, because the time I didn't have money was when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
And my dad got sick. Anyways, had no money, so I didn't buy Skyrim. I had enough money to buy one game. You know what game I bought that holiday season?
What was it?
The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. It was good.
Let's go.
Good enough. Good enough. Anyways, let's see. Let's move on to the next headline. Baldur's Gate 3. There was a lot of issues with Baldur's Gate 3 and how it was not coming to Xbox due to the split screen co-op feature not being able to run on the Series S. The last we had heard about it, it was said that the game was not going to come out on Xbox consoles until next year at the earliest. However, this also, I believe, came out of games. Baldur's Gate 3 will launch this year on Xbox, confirms Larian Studios CEO Swen Vinke after meeting with Microsoft. Now, the reason that there was an issue, Dev, was Xbox has a guideline that says that the Xbox Series X and S versions need to basically
Be the same. Yeah.
be the same in terms of features.
Mhm.
They can be different in terms of fidelity and stuff, but features need to be the same. And they couldn't get the split screen co-op to work on Series S. It was a whole big thing because I don't know if you read this, but the reason why is that they basically have the game running multiple times to make it as flawless as it is. Like the drop in, drop out, co-op. Like it's not just like
the S just isn't powerful enough to handle.
it can't run the game multiple times because
Gotcha.
it's a huge
Yeah.
game. So there's issues with that, but Swen Vinke said, super happy to confirm that after meeting Phil Spencer yesterday, we found a solution that allows us to bring Baldur's Gate 3 to Xbox players for this year. Still, something we've been working towards for quite some time. So I think that this is really good on them. I think Xbox...
I hope this stays. I hope that other companies are allowed to... It kind of sucks, but I hope they're allowed to remove features that maybe aren't important enough. Keep in so that you can have, like, the X version be the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
You've heard from other developers that the S is holding back Microsoft, or it's holding back the Xbox brand in terms of like fidelity for game, like features and the way everything looks. So
yeah. So this is the thing that it's conflicting for me because I do see the vision that Xbox lays out, right? Like I see the vision of like Game Pass, PC, consoles, phone, smart TV, wherever you want to play it, just get into the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I see their vision and I totally understand their vision. But my concern with this vision as well is you need to be careful about the quality that you're going to put out there because for example, if PlayStation is looking at their console and just their console and making sure that the games they're launching on their console is the best version of the game it can be, then
we can put a 100 into your console.
Right.
Yeah.
Microsoft needs to be able to do the same thing with the Series X.
And I think it's something you could only find out in hindsight. You know, they were trying to do something, hey, let's have a cheaper, like you said, a cheaper box that everyone...
And it sold very well.
Yeah, it did sell really well.
It did very well
especially in like other countries. Japan, I think, is like the S is the best selling Microsoft console.
Right.
So it is tricky. But I do hope for the next generation it'll be one console.
Yeah, I think that's what they need to do. It's like, look, man, if you want to do...
Or do a discless version for a cheaper price, you know, like a disc version, a discless version.
Yeah, by the end of the day, you should have one console.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I hope that they do that. I think you could still do your vision of, like, play anywhere. I think you can still do that, but... Again, I've been preaching it since forever. Is like, at the end of the day, Xbox needs to make sure they're taking care of their console customers, because that's their core audience. Like, yes, they want to get into the mobile... sphere, and yes,
that's what I was going to say.
That,
if they're leaning into streaming, it makes no. You can have as many different boxes as you want. It doesn't matter. I think they're even still working on a dongle that isn't ready yet. But you know what I mean. So if they're going to move to streaming, that's a different story. And like I don't know. I agree with you that streaming isn't there yet, but it is the future. So who knows? See.
Yeah, I guess we will. I don't know. I just hope that Xbox can continue to make decisions like this on a per case basis where it's like, look, man, Baldur's Gate 3 was the biggest game of the summer. You know what I mean? Like, it was the game of the summer. And it not coming to Xbox definitely hurts.
Yeah.
And now Starfield's coming out. Like, that's the thing. Like, Baldur's Gate 3, are Xbox gamers really going to play Baldur's Gate 3?
As long as it doesn't happen, it says this year. We don't know what this year means. It could be Christmas time. It could be, you know what I mean?
You're assuming that people are going to be done with Starfield by December.
No, they won't be, but I think there would be an excitement. I'm excited to play Baldur's Gate 3.
I mean,
everything I saw about it looks really good.
Yeah.
It looks like Dragon's Age Inquisition, which was my favorite game of that year when it came out. So who knows? I do think it'll be okay.
Well, let's stick to the topic of consoles.
TJ was saying I think he was saying basically the same thing.
Yeah, it
Like
makes you
having it-
wonder who's making these bad decisions. Really? If the right decision was made, Baldur's Gate would be coming out much earlier. Xbox needs to address these inconsistencies. I get what you're saying, but I think that again, I understand Xbox's vision, and
Yeah.
I can see what they're going for. They want every like again, we've talked about
You don't want people to miss out on something just because they bought
right.
a different box. You know what I mean?
Like Ty, you and I talked about this a lot. Even when I hung out on your stream the one time, it's not about selling the console. Unfortunately, it's more than that. It like that matters, but it's also about like the ecosystem. It's all about the ecosystem. It's like, hey, like pick up your phone, play X, pick up your smart TV, turn it on, play Xbox. That's the idea, and I think that they like that's the vision, and that's why they make it such a big deal. Where they want the Series X and Series S to have that parity, where it's like everything's the same. And I get it. It's detrimental, but I get it.
If that really is the vision, there will definitely be multiple consoles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is a concern for me. But at the same time, like,
but the other side of that is make a game where maybe not all the features are in the weaker.
Well, that's what I think they should do. It's like to put it in a funny way, I would go the Call of Duty route of the Xbox 360 generation, where so like a Call of Duty game would come out on 360 and PS3, and then they would put out the Wii version.
Yeah.
And the Wii version was not the same game exactly.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Hopefully not that drastic. I know what you mean. Hopefully not that drastic, but yeah, maybe take out a few features.
Yeah,
It sucks to say that too, because I don't want to be that person that like gets a worse version of a game.
Right. The Series X, though, like again, like I'm also going to speak to the gamer that represents me the most, which is that Series X, that console gamer that like, hey, every few years I'm dropping 500 on a new console. And like for me as a customer in that mindset, it's like, yeah, the next Xbox generation just
yeah.
Trey fucking Turner, baby.
Yeah, I know, I have it on. But anyways, sticking into console talk, Phil Spencer doesn't think that a mid-gen Xbox is needed amid the PS5 Pro rumors. Again, Phil Spencer was all over Gamescom. He was just everywhere. It was his first time at Gamescom in 5 years too.
Yeah, it was funny because you were talking about Todd Howard. He looked so tired at Gamescom. He looked exhausted, and I was like, man, I feel bad for this guy.
But so Phil Spencer was at Gamescom, and he was talking about the future of this generation of Xbox and whether or not the company is planning a mid-gen refresh. Speaking to Eurogamer on the topic of mid-gen refreshes, Phil Spencer said, as soon as you start doing mid-gen refreshes, you've got a bunch of issues in front of developers on what platform they target. And it starts to feel a lot more like PC, which is clearly a good ecosystem that's healthy. But then I'm like, okay, well, what's the difference then between console and PC if we're in this mode of every 2 years a new GPU comes out, or CPU? The reiteration comes following Spencer's comments in June that he doesn't think the Xbox Series, a new series, is needed. Meanwhile, on the PlayStation side, it seems like the company is doing all it can to bring its consumers new products, like the PlayStation Portal, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Deborah, do you think it'll be good? We'll talk about it later. don't do it. Earlier this year, no, that's pretty much it. That's kind of a recap. So, what is your take on this? So, do you think that a mid-gen Xbox?
So it's been how many years?
4?
4? I think 4 is too early. Mid-gen, I think of 5 years. I think of a generation 10 years. Mm-hmm. I don't know. A lot changes technically wise for these things. I don't know.
I have a question. Like, what exactly is a mid-gen console? Has there ever been like another one that you can kind of like reference?
Yeah, sure. Like the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One X.
A lot of slim consoles, like PlayStation does a lot of slim.
Yeah, it's basically just they take that generation's hardware and they kind of buff it up.
I completely forgot about those, to be honest.
It's more powerful, but it's usually like better. It runs better. It's just a better version.
Sometimes
I remember the PS4 Pro
or smaller. Like sometimes it's not even like a power thing. Yeah. It's just.
So here's my thing. I think from both Xbox and PlayStation that you absolutely do not need a mid-gen this gen.
This generation's very weird.
My
Because of,
my point is that I don't think, more so Xbox, PlayStation
I know where
as
you're going
well.
with this, but
I don't
software,
think
right?
either of them have really pushed consoles to their limits.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in my backlog, but I've heard for Horizon Forbidden West is gorgeous. So like, I'll give PlayStation that. Like, that's probably their best looking game on the console.
Yeah. Same thing with God of War.
Yeah, God of War as well, both in my backlog.
But like,
never getting. But like, I have not seen enough from either of these boxes, especially Xbox,
yeah,
to make me go like, man, I really feel like trading in my Series X and dropping a $300 and a trade in to get another console. Like, no way. Get out of here.
outside of any driving game Xbox puts out, I haven't seen it either. Like Forza are their only games.
And that's not a knock just against Xbox. That's a knock against the third party as well. Like,
yeah.
Not even third. There is no game that I've played on my Series X that I was like, God damn, they really took this box to its limits.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely better than the last generation, but it's not. It hasn't been like a, man, I really need a mid-gen upgrade.
We're also getting to a point where how much further can you go? You know what I mean?
8K.
I do think the game that might make you feel that way is Senua Saga. I think that's going to be the first game.
I'm really hoping. I'm very hopeful for that game. I think I'm very excited. It's gonna be cool. Ty says it's not needed. Current consoles haven't been optimized properly, as I was saying. Hogwarts Legacy isn't a next gen game. The problem Xbox runs into is if PS5 Pro starts running at games at 60 and Xbox is at 30.
Yeah, that's true.
And so like that's the other thing though, that like you also want to be kind of conscious of what your competition's doing, because Xbox made a promise to its customers when the Series X generation started that they will never be beaten in terms of price or power. That was a promise that Phil Spencer. He's like, we will always have the most powerful offering and we will always have the cheapest offering on the market. And right now, that's true still.
Yeah.
The Series X is more powerful than the PS5, and the Series S is cheaper than the PS5. So it's true. But if PS5 Pro comes out,
it's damn.
If they're going to do a next mid-gen or whatever, the issue that needs to be right now, there's a performance mode and there's a, what's the other mode? Fidelity mode. I don't know what it's called.
Fidelity.
No more of that. You should be able to play your game 60.
Oh,
60,
for sure. Yeah.
60
Stop
frames,
making me pick.
4K. Yeah.
Right. Although, like, I'll always lean resolution. I know
always pre-frame rate. So like,
for me, honestly, I've never been super upset about a game that does 30. Like when you dip below 30, that's
that's what I was gonna say. I'm never upset by it, but when you go to 60, it's hard to go back to 30 because it just, I don't know. You feel the 60 frames per second.
You feel it?
Yeah. It's like, no, you do. It's like, I don't know.
That's funny. Anyways, well, we'll see. I don't think they're coming out with one though. I don't think Phil Spencer's bluffing here. I don't think we're gonna get one. But
it'd be a weird thing to bluff. You want to hype up your mid-gen console if you have one. So
Rockstar Games, Deborah. Company that I don't think I've been very happy with in the past few years. The vice president of writing at Rockstar, Michael Unsworth, appears to have left the company after 16 years. He's most notable for writing both Red Dead Redemption, GTA 4 and 5, Max Payne 3, and LA Noire. Deborah, some of these games are some of my favorite games of all time.
I can't imagine he did it by himself. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm sure he was involved. But yeah, still, he was a vice president. That's pretty high up. Going to be a major hit.
Yeah, so I'm a little disappointed in this. I mean, again, I'm sure when GTA 6 comes out, he's going to shake it off. But he's had his hand. Rockstar vibes. That if you're a Rockstar fan, the goodwill is burning. They are burning the goodwill. I think it is.
So
they put out the GTA remakes.
That was harsh.
Terrible.
Yeah.
God awful.
And then this whole thing with Red Dead Redemption. That's also harsh.
Yeah, $50.
Yeah.
And then they were asked during the fiscal year, the fiscal earnings call. It's like, so how do you feel about the $50 price point? The CEO's like, it's financially correct or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I don't think it's too bad though. You know what I mean? I think their past in like creating these great games gives them like this buffer. It's kind of like Fallout 76 or
for sure, yeah. It's understandable.
Yeah.
But again, I would just love Bully too. Man, goddamn. What does a guy got to do to get?
We got to make it ourselves.
Yeah, right. Just gonna grab you, shove you in the toilet. Forget. Do you need to play Bully still?
Not.
Before you played it,
I think I've played a lot of it. Like I know.
we gotta go.
Yeah, I probably have to replay it.
Yeah. Speaking of games that you can go back and replay, a new edition is coming to the Nintendo Switch Online. Devroro, is it Pokemon? No,
Is it? Oh.
it's not. It's Excitebike 64.
He said that with so much
Comes
enthusiasm.
out tomorrow.
You gonna play it?
Not right away. Maybe
you got
at
a
some
couple.
point.
You got
I
a couple
actually
days
never-
till Starfield.
I actually never played Excitebike 64.
I
That was not one of the games I had growing up. I had a friend who played it. He loved it.
I was a big Wave Racer guy.
Man,
That was
Wave
a fun
Race
game.
doesn't control well.
No, it didn't.
I thought you were about to say like, oh no, it does.
No, it didn't.
I think I
Yeah, that
had
was a-
this game.
You think you did?
I think so. Yeah. I did. Vicky the Vixen Steel. I remember playing with her all the time. Yep.
Yeah, so Excitebike's cool. 64, I've heard it's fun. So, it's good that they're still adding to the NSO. Still not
Tricky
Pokemon
Ricky.
Gen 1 or Gen 2, but just fuck right off, I guess. AEW Fight Forever, Devroro.
You love that game.
AEW Fight Forever, Devroro.
Yeah.
Got a big update. The update includes the Stadium Stampede Battle Royale, which I have not played. I've heard mixed things. Some
Okay.
people really like it. Some
I was
don't
gonna
like
ask
it.
you. Yeah.
You
You should at least
also-
play a game. You should jump in and play
Yeah.
a game just to see.
The something I appreciated was that the game also did a tire up for some of the wrestlers. John Moxley, Chris Jericho, Wardlow, Trent, Luchasaurus, Jade Cargill, and Sting all had their attires updated to be more modern.
Oh,
Current.
cool.
I thought that was a really cool touch. Just to one of my biggest things was it just felt like the game was 2 years too late.
Yeah, you
And
told me.
so it's nice to see them doing little things where they can. Even simple like a tire up is nice. And then there was also a butt ton of bug fixes.
That would be cool if they can add some recent things, recent stories is like a big,
Yeah.
big update.
Deborah, you can attest to the amount of bug fixes right here.
Okay, yeah, they
It's
were,
a lot.
Yeah,
Would you
they
say
were,
it's a lot? I'm
yeah.
not going to read them all, but
No.
Deborah just saw it. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
there was a lot.
They've put out a lot of bug fixes. So
yeah.
hopefully the game gets better. I'm hopeful. There's a good chance I play Stadium Stampede this week.
Yeah.
Just
Try it out.
just to jump in before Starfield, because
Yeah.
when Starfield comes out, it's all over. All over.
Excitebike, you got to play this. Just get
Yeah,
everything
it's
out
gonna
the
be a
way.
packed week for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check that out. Hopefully it's good. I
That's
want it to be good.
42 if I counted right. Holy jeez.
There you go. 42 bug updates. Producer Jeff counting, doing his work in the booth. We expect. It's awesome. Love to see
And
it.
there's more for the Switch. There's another 4 for the Switch.
Yeah, there you go. So check that out. Battle Royales. I love Battle Royales. So I want to like this. I want to love it. Maybe I'll go play it and I'll talk about it next week before I talk about it. Anyways, next up, Devroro, a big rumor on Gear 6. According to Professor Nick, it's a great name. Gear 6 is a little bit further along than some might think, and he's also heard
Ooh.
there is a strong possibility that it may be a full open world game. Now,
What?
Chef Nick, let's just say Nick. Nick actually did see that this rumor got started to spread, and he clarified that he heard it would be more open than 5,
Okay.
as opposed to it being completely open. But we've played Gears 5. We know that it does have some open
Those open spaces, yeah. Which
Um,
honestly would be cool if they can get it into one world. However, I do like the biomes that 6 is able to do for different spots. So
Jez Corden, damn, I heard it was going to be a dating. No, I'm very excited for Gear 6.
they also
Um,
they also are really good at using the box very, very well. So it's gonna be a beautiful looking game.
I think Gear 6 will be the game. We talk about Senua. I think Gear 6
They're both using Unreal
Gear 6
5.
is going to be the game where it's like, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, they're both
That's
using
what the
Unreal
console can
5,
do.
so it's gonna look great.
But I'm excited for Gear 6. If they can make the open world fun, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I think a lot of open world games these days,
Hit or miss.
very hit or miss. I feel like they want to be open world for the sake of being open world. Don't do that. Make the game you want to make. If your game is linear with levels, that's okay. Okay. Make the game that you want as long as it's good. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. good. I thought you were going to be like, no, it has to be open world. Otherwise, it's no good.
No,
That sounds like something you would say.
it doesn't.
It does.
I don't know even where you got that.
I've known you for so long. You're going to tell me
Do
I don't.
you? I don't know. Sometimes I question it.
I've known you for 12 plus years.
You don't act like it.
Maybe you don't know yourself. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, you know me more than me?
Maybe. Oh, man. Let's move on. Number 11 on the headlines. This is really exciting for me because of the potential of the future. So Dark Forces, a Star Wars game that came out a long time ago, a galaxy far, far away, Devroro. It's getting a remaster. Announced for PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. Here you can just look at this beautiful trailer. I'm sure producer Jeff is going to play it on the B-roll. But look at this. So it's going to show you the update. So the reason that I'm hopeful for what this means. So Dark Forces, if you're not aware, Dark Forces is actually the first game in a series. A series that's name changed. This is what the original game looks like.
Still looks great.
You'll see. So
Looks like
the
Doom.
Dark Forces game, yes, it plays very much like Doom. The Dark Forces game turns into the Jedi Outcast franchise. Which before Jedi Fallen Order, that was my ultimate, like, this game is how you are, like, it makes you feel like you're a Jedi kind of game. So I'm very excited for the first game, Dark Forces, to be remade. I'm hopeful that means we'll get more remasters of this franchise. I also think it's really cool that we are in an age where we're just seeing all these Star Wars games getting kind of modernized. But so, game looks dope. I'm excited. I'm going to be picking it up. Again, it's Doom Star Wars.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they recently had the Quake remake. Quake 2 got remaked and put out, so it makes sense if you can do a game with this style.
yeah, so I'm excited. Look forward to that. They drop a release. They didn't drop. But it's going to be priced somewhere between $20 and $30, which I think is...
Yeah. They're killing me with this trailer.
It's good, isn't it?
It was hard to get it to play normally. It was being all weird.
Well, that's weird.
I gotta go now.
It's a great trailer. So yeah, looking forward to that. Deborah, what would you do if you worked at a warehouse and that warehouse had copies of Starfield in it?
Oh, I'm taking like 6 copies, a few Xboxes, and then I'm gonna play it, release and show the world the opening hour of Starfield.
But what are you going to do with all those copies you grabbed?
Question.
Well,
as long as you don't sell them.
well, in the recent days, extensive cuts of Starfield gameplay began surfacing on social media, with one particular leaker standing at the center of all attention. Following the upload of several pieces of content, everything promptly vanished. Starfield leaker went silent. Now we know why. It's been claimed that the notorious Starfield leaker was arrested by police in Shelby County, Tennessee on August 24th. And it was subsequently discovered that he may be something of a master thief.
Yeah.
Or at least he would be considering such if he wasn't caught. In a post on Reddit, a link to recentlybooked.com revealed a listing for one Darren Tyrone Harris, 29-year-old male booked for alleged possession of marijuana, of course, and 2 charges of theft of property. Reportedly, the original source linking to this individual to the Starfield leaks came courtesy of a particular Discord user. Insider Gaming is working to verify that specifically. Following Harris's arrest, savvy online investigators tracked down a Mercari profile that's allegedly linked to the would-be master thief. On this profile, the user, who others are claiming is Harris himself, has been or is selling up to 1,000 items, many of which are bulk bundles of brand new merchandise. And what's at the top of this Mercari page, you might ask, Devroro?
Starfield.
You're supposed to ask the question.
Is it Starfield?
Yes, it's Starfield. Well, there's a string of Starfield copies, all for sale, on the Mercari page, some of which were selling for as much as $650. In an ongoing discussion, it has been claimed that Harris worked in a warehouse, which is how he came by so many brand new mint-in-box products.
That's what I'm saying, Doge.
Yeah.
Gears does not need an open world, baby. I agree. It doesn't need it. I'd be willing to try.
His other.
No, I know. I was about to get to that. Starfield and marijuana sounds like a great time, baby. Oh man,
That's funny.
can't wait for Starfield. What up, Doge? Yeah, so this guy's an idiot.
Definitely. If you're getting away with stealing so much,
Stop
don't
posting
post about
online.
it. Yeah,
Because look. Here's the thing: if the warehouse doesn't give a shit,
yeah, they don't care.
the
They have
warehouse is like
insurance on all that
they're
stuff.
just getting
and-
paid to ship
yeah,
these things. They don't give. But like when you start posting on Starfield, Bethesda's like send
yeah.
them little snipers.
Oh no, that warehouse cares. If they get a reputation for their employees stealing stuff,
Oh,
nobody will send their
absolutely.
shit there anymore.
Yeah. But everyone has insurance on their products.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
Right,
dude's
but
know.
fired though. I'll tell you that much. He'd be fired.
What I'm saying is though is like they don't care if as long as it doesn't get traced back to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Bethesda cares
The
that
fact that
Starfield was getting leaked.
he apparently he clearly had a system of getting this stuff in and out without getting caught.
He's like, oh, I gotta go on. I'm going on break. Grab a box.
On TV. Yeah.
Walk out with the box.
Insane.
Well, he's arrested. He's in jail, so he will not be enjoying Starfield. Oh, I did have some Fallout. All right, next up, Fallout TV show is set in LA. Releases in 2024. It was just revealed by Amazon this past week that the upcoming Fallout TV show, which is in production for a couple of years, will be set in Los Angeles, a location steeped in Fallout lore. It was also revealed, or perhaps reiterated, that the show will be released at some point in 2024. That was more or less a given, as it was weeks ago that production wrapped on the project. For months, images have been leaking far and wide across the project, showcasing outfits, locations, set pieces, and even story elements. A lot of that stuff I've tried to avoid, so I don't want spoilers.
Yeah.
But, Devroro, are you excited for the Fallout TV show?
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
I didn't see the teaser. And when it comes out, I'm gonna watch it.
All right.
Video game media has been only up and up for a while. What, since Sonic, I think?
Mine is Halo.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Like, they showed Master Chief's butt, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if that was
I don't want
something...
to talk about that.
I don't know if that's something Master Chief would do personally. I'm just not... I don't know if I'm buying that.
But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Please home. Nice. All right.
I don't think Bethesda would allow their game to like go off the
Yeah, I
path
think-
that way.
Well, again, I think that the fact that they're placing it in
Let's
LA
go.
tells you a lot, because it's LA, like I said, very lore heavy area for the Fallout.
Okay.
A lot of lore over in LA.
So the part I can imagine a lot of flashback scenes.
Maybe.
You
Who
know.
knows? Deborah, let's get to a big news story. A news story that I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but I actually do feel a particular way about it. So, it came out last week that the CMA declined Microsoft's bid to purchase Activision Blizzard. So then Microsoft announced that they are selling off Activision cloud gaming rights to a very an unexpected party stepped in, Devroro.
Who was it?
Thank you. Ubisoft.
Was it Ubisoft?
It was
I should have asked.
Anyways, yes, it was Ubisoft. So Microsoft is restructuring its proposed Activision Blizzard deal to transfer cloud gaming rights for current and new Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft. The transfer of rights is designed to appease regulators in the UK that are concerned about the impact of Microsoft's proposed $69 billion deal and what it will have on cloud competition. The restructured deal has triggered a new regulatory investigation in the UK that could last till October 18th. To address the concerns about the impact of proposed acquisition cloud game streaming raised by the UK Competition and Markets Authority, we are restructuring the transaction to acquire a narrower set of rights, says Microsoft President Brad Smith. This includes executing an agreement effective at the closing of our merger that transfers the cloud streaming rights for all current and new Activision Blizzard PC and console games released over the next 15 years to Ubisoft, a leading global game publisher. The rights will be in perpetuity.
This is not just UK. This is not just for the
This is
UK.
across the entire
Ubisoft was
the whole
okay.
world.
That's crazy.
So,
But I guess if it works, it works. I don't know.
you want to know my thoughts on this?
Sure.
I don't think the deal closes. I'm officially in the camp of I doubt it closes.
This sounds like a big step forward. Like if this appeases the CMA, why not close it?
So here's the thing. I think the CMA just doesn't want. I just don't think that they, much like the FTC, I think the CMA just doesn't want to see the deal go through, regardless of anything that happens. The FTC is still filing its appeal despite the fact that PlayStation signed the these regulatories, these two specifically, for whatever reason, whether it be lobbyists or whatever the case is, they don't want this deal to go through. I don't think the CMA is going to accept it. And the other thing is like, so, and Ty and I were talking about this. Well, like at this point, Microsoft will just close over the CMA, which they could have done from the start. And my follow up thought of that is, if cloud gaming was so important to Microsoft, as much as they make it seem, as much as we think it is, they would have closed the deal over the CMA and not sold the rights to Ubisoft.
Yeah,
that's my stance on it. I think that if basically Microsoft and CMA were playing chicken, and Microsoft was making it sound like they would close the deal over them, and like I don't know if I thought they would or not. I was kind of 50-50 on it, but now I know for sure they're not going to close the deal over. If the CMA says no, they aren't. They would have done it. They would have done it. Why would Microsoft sell the we talk on this show all the time. You and Ty try to convince me all the time that cloud gaming is legitimately the future.
It is.
And yeah, Microsoft just sold the rights away for 15 plus years.
Yeah.
15 years.
So like, while I don't know all the legal stuff that's involved, I don't know all the details and all the small print stuff, I think it is a smart move to say, hey, we'll let somebody else regulate this because you don't trust us. So we'll get somebody that you do trust has based in UK and all that stuff. Like,
well, they're not based in UK, they're based in
well, it's like it's outside the US. It's not Microsoft, which is like a big deal. So I do see it as a plus, and if they're only regulating it, Microsoft can still put out software and all that stuff. Like, and they're going to get their money in their pockets. So I get it.
Maybe I'm wrong, and Ty even said it too. Like, if the CMA says no, then they'll close over them. Like,
that's what I hope.
I don't think they will.
You don't think they will?
I don't think they will at this point. I think if they were willing to do that, they would have done it just like last week when CMA said no.
But when I did, so I said that to you, and you said that they want to appease the CMA.
They do want to appease the CMA. That's why they won't close over them. They don't have the balls to do it. I really don't think so. I think, again, like,
let's say you're on bad terms with the CMA. What does that mean for Microsoft moving forward?
It just continues to be a headache for if you want to make other acquisitions. It's like it's the regulatory body of a government of one of the biggest nations in the world. You don't want to be at odds.
Microsoft likes making acquisitions.
They do, of all sizes.
Of all sizes, yeah. They're the king of it.
The CMA didn't say no. It's being reviewed. No, they said no for the original proposal. So when Microsoft and the CMA, they stopped the litigation, Microsoft sent in another proposal. The CMA had a deadline, which I think was today, actually, originally. And they said no last week. So that's why
the Ubisoft one?
No, not the Ubisoft one, to the one before the Ubisoft one. Ubisoft one was the retaliation of that, where they had that in their back pocket ready to go. But my point is...
I wonder if it's something that, like, the CMA said, can somebody else regulate your stuff? And they probably thought of some companies that could do it.
Now, I'll follow up with this. Like, do I think that the CMA should say no? No, I don't think they should say no to this Ubisoft thing. In fact, I don't think they should have said no to the first deal. But, like, at the end of the day, I just don't believe that those damn Brits, I don't think those damn Brits want to see it pass. I'm just being honest. I don't think so.
I don't know. Like, again, like I said, I don't understand all the small print stuff. So,
I mean, again, could I be wrong? Absolutely, I could. But I just, looking at the grand scheme of things, if Microsoft was willing to play hardball, they would have done it.
This is how I see it. TJ said the Xbox gave them an out. This seems like an out. Hey, you don't trust us with it? We'll give it to someone else.
No, I get that. And again, I don't think that it's a problem
if they do deny it, I agree with you. They just didn't want it to go through to begin with.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think they want the deal to go through at this point.
Yeah. That's if they deny this.
But I think that's how they feel. Because now, like, okay, well, so Microsoft sends in this new proposal, and now they're like, oh, we got to look at it again. Give us till October.
I think Ty's got a good point right there in chat, too. The last thing he said. Well, not the last, but,
They said, no, this is all politics. The CMA bad to get a new deal to save face. Xbox gave them an out, and there's an out. I understand that, and again, like, you're missing the point. I'm not saying that shouldn't be the case. Like, you are correct. But what I'm saying is that I don't trust the CMA to be doing the right thing, is what I'm saying. I'm saying the CMA wants to block the deal no matter what. And that's why if I was in charge of Microsoft, I would have just closed the deal over them and not sold the rights to Ubisoft.
I mean, they always had that option in their back pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At any point they can close the
And
deal.
why I get that, but at the end of the day, like you're still selling those rights off for 15 years. You mean to tell me that cloud gaming isn't going to be ready in the next 15 years?
15 years is crazy. I would
Like
say
that's
10.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like 5, 10.
I would say 10
maybe?
because they were making 10-year deals with everyone. I don't know. 15 is like
those rights for 15 years. That's a long time. And like you got.
But again, they're also still keeping the money in their pocket. They're just letting someone else do the regulation for it. You know what I mean?
Well, so Ubisoft is paying Microsoft a lump sum.
Yeah.
For the rights for 15 years.
Yeah, and over time they'll get paid.
And then Ubisoft is going to make that money.
Yeah. Probably some more on top of that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm sure there's ways that you can, like, if you maybe buy microtransactions on the cloud versions or whatever, it'll kick to Activision, which will kick to Microsoft.
One thing that could come out of this is more Ubisoft games on Game Pass or Xbox. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. So if it's 15 years, that's when Ubisoft deal ends. Xbox wins by default.
That's true.
That is a good point. I mean, yeah, I guess they're playing the long game. But again, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. My point is the CMA, are they going to allow the deal to go through? I don't think they will, which leads to my follow-up point. I don't think Microsoft is going to close a deal over them. I think they would have already if they would. Like I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think Microsoft is playing it a certain way for sure.
You don't think they'll be like, okay, we tried to appease you. You don't want anything that we do. We're going to close the deal without you. You don't think that's?
I wouldn't bet money on it.
Yeah, that's how I see it. It's like we tried our best to give you something, give you what you wanted.
Yeah.
And you turned down everything. We're going to close it without you. Screw you guys.
Maybe. I just feel like
it's going to sound funny, but I don't think the CMA is powerful enough to deal with Microsoft if they really wanted to. Like,
oh no,
that's
for
another
sure.
thing.
And that was my thing. Like, I don't understand why Microsoft is even playing with them. Like, Microsoft could be like, "Hey, we're pulling Microsoft out of the UK, like business."
You actually changed my mind on that,
and the UK will be devastated.
So I thought the same way, and then you told me like, "Hey, you want to be on good terms with the CMA because as you know, as annoying as it's been, they're still important. The CMA is still important. They still have a big voice in terms of like, in company wise, and I don't know.
I get it. I mean, we'll see. I'm just going off a gut feeling. My gut's telling me that, like, at this point, maybe it's just because I'm fucking tired. Maybe it's because we've been dealing with this for years at this point.
I told you I was done.
I know.
I was done a month ago.
I thought we were done, but we're not done.
Yeah.
Because these damn Brits.
Yeah.
Which we've confirmed that Ty is Irish, so it's okay. Especially say Brits. Yes, I understand.
We'll just have to see. We honestly,
yeah, again, like
because
I'm just saying what my gut's telling me.
All these options are still, everything's still on the table. So
I just don't think the CMA is gonna.
No one saw Ubisoft coming into this, and here they are. So
it was just like
anything could happen.
Also, like, shout out to Ubisoft, right, for fumbling into the biggest bag of all time.
They're just at home chilling.
So this news broke. I remember because I was at work. I had just walked into work, so it was like 5:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning. And like I checked my phone and the news had like just come out. And I'm like I pictured like Ubisoft sleeping at home, and the phone rings.
Not even that, they're banging on the door.
It's Microsoft.
It's lawyers.
Like, 5 in the morning. It's like, shut up, we need you to buy the rights to Activision. And he's like, what? Like, all right, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Hold on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ubisoft for stumbling into the biggest bag of all time.
Yeah, for real.
That's crazy. He's just there. It's like, hey, here you go, participation. There you go. All right. I mean, we'll see. You guys are probably right, and I'm just tired of it. I think that's what it is, which I think is understandable.
I know. I've been tired of it.
I'm just done. Let's talk about Xbox's plan for first-party game. Phil Spencer, in an interview with IGN, while over at Gamescom, went on the record of discussing everything, Starfield rumors to all new consoles. Spoke briefly about the desire for Xbox to release 4 first-party games every year, backing up a statement made in June by head of Xbox Game Studios Matt Booty. Put simply, it was once an aspiration, but now there's a plan to deliver 4 first-party games every year. Something that Spencer stressed has already happened this year and will absolutely happen next
4 first-party games next year?
Yep. So Spencer said that this year they dropped 4 first-party titles. Well, more than 4. They dropped Hi-Fi Rush, Minecraft Legends, Redfall, Starfield, Forza, Age of Empires 4 for console. In a tongue-in-cheek reference, Spencer admitted that maybe people don't want to give us credit for Redfall. I get it. So basically, Phil Spencer doubles down. He says, hey, look, we want to do 4 games a year. This year, we did do it, for better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, we will absolutely have 4 first-party.
Okay.
He's got some confidence. So
sounds like Xbox 360 era, where games were just coming out back to back.
Well, so yeah, Phil had been talking about, and I've said it on the podcast many a times through the drought, where it's like, he said, like, hey, the plan is 1 a quarter. 1 first-party game a quarter. So, I mean, that's the plan. That's what they want to do, and I think they're going to do it. And they're saying they're absolutely going to do it.
I mean, with all these studios you have, I don't see any, like, a studio can go away for 3 or 4 years, and that cycle can still go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, so Devroro, the next one is Phasmophobia. The console version's been delayed. Now, Devroro, I want you to guess as to why the console version of this game, it's already out on PC, so the game's already out, it's done.
Yeah, I've seen people play it.
Why do you think the console version was delayed? No cheating.
I don't know.
Just take a guess.
Physical copy?
No.
Oh.
You want to take another guess, or do you want me to tell you?
You can tell me.
An office fire.
Oh, okay. I was never gonna guess that.
So this news came out August 25th, and Insider Gaming says, hours ago, Phasmophobia's developer, Kinetic, revealed that the console launch of their multiplayer horror title, which I really want to play, it's really fun, has been delayed because of a recent fire incident in their office building. It was supposed to release this month, but it has now been pushed back to October. On a positive note, Kinetic explained why this is potentially more advantageous, as it now means they'll be pushing for a special launch during Halloween, which will likely resonate with their fans. Which is very true.
Yeah.
But yeah, an office fire.
Sucks.
Do you think if somebody did something like maybe a former employee?
Crunch? I'll show you Crunch. It's like...
So somebody just pulled the fire alarm, and now they're gonna say there was a fire, and they're like, we just needed to push it back to Halloween.
It's just a birthday cake.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Well, so on Thursday, 2 days from the 31st, Nintendo announced today that there will be a Super Mario Brothers Wonder Direct. It's going to be about 15 minutes showing off the game. Devroro, I don't need to watch this Direct. I don't want to watch this Direct. Yeah. That's it.
Hope it's better than the Pokemon Direct.
I'm sure it will be, but it's just going to show this game. I don't need to see any more of this.
I'm not big into 2D Mario.
Me neither.
So I might watch it because I'm not big into it, and I probably won't get it. If it was like the 3D Mario game or something like that, where I'm going to get it, I wouldn't watch it.
See, I would be if it was a 3D Mario game. If it's something I was getting, I'd be more likely.
Okay, yeah, I'm the opposite because
I mean, there's a good chance I'm going to get Mario Wonder, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's a later problem.
Yeah, that's a later problem.
I'll watch it though, and maybe we'll talk about it.
Perhaps. Devroro, are you ready to be proven wrong once again?
Here we go.
Now, Devroro, as you've said in the past.
Oh, as I've said. What did I say?
Xbox should just ignore Japanese developers in general. That customers don't want products from Japan on the Xbox platform.
When did I say that?
Well, I'm here to prove you wrong because Xbox has hired a director for partnerships in Japan, Mena Seto Kato.
About time, actually, honestly.
Is in the role responsible for leading partnerships worldwide for Japanese publishers at Xbox. She previously worked at Sony for 20 plus years.
It's about time you had someone in Japan helping you out, like especially Microsoft. I don't know. They don't have a big fan base in Japan, and the S is their best-selling console in Japan, so it's about time.
Yeah, well, I know you don't understand this, but Western gamers, Xbox gamers, do want these Japanese IPs and these developers on their Xbox.
I know, and they have PlayStations. Yeah.
Here we go again. Saying what?
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Anyways, you've improved.
You love JRPGs, don't you?
I do.
Here's your PlayStation right there. I'm looking right at it.
If you gave me a choice, though, I'd play it on my Xbox.
Yeah, but you don't have a choice.
Well, I played it on my Switch.
I don't think that's on Switch either. I
Octopath
mean, yeah, you do
Traveler 2
have.
was
Yeah,
on
there are.
Switch,
Yeah,
played that on Switch.
that's true.
Exactly.
Another Japanese company, right?
What do you have against Japanese companies?
No, I love them.
Prove me.
What? I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just saying people have PlayStation.
As he strangles Bulbasaur.
It's like, I hate Japanese companies so much. Nintendo.
No, Bulbasaur's my favorite.
Speaking of Japanese companies, our last news headline. Deborah, we got an official unveiling of Sony's portable PlayStation Portal.
Yeah,
It's coming out this year. Crazy, right?
yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about this PlayStation Portal. We'll see how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sony officially is launching its portable PlayStation later this year, the PlayStation Portal Remote Player. The handheld device will stream PS5 games over Wi-Fi. It features an 8-inch LCD screen running at 1080p at 60 FPS. Sony says the PlayStation Portal will be available later this year, priced at $199.90.
Everything you've said so far sounds great.
Okay. PlayStation Portal will connect remotely to your PS5 over Wi-Fi, so you'll be able to swiftly jump from playing your PS5 to your Portal, says Nishino, Senior Vice President of Platform Experience at Sony. PlayStation Portal can play supported games that are installed on your PS5 console and use the DualSense controller. The PlayStation Portal features prominent controllers on each side that look very much like Sony's PS5 DualSense controller. They support adaptive triggers and haptic feedback, so PS5 games will feel similar to using a dedicated DualSense controller. The PlayStation Portal will also be capable of playing media, as the home screen has a dedicated section for it as it's mirroring your PS5. You won't be able to run anything locally, so if you don't have Wi-Fi, you're out of luck.
Streaming device.
Strangely, the $199.99 handheld won't work with Sony's upcoming cloud streaming for PS5 games.
That's weird.
Games that must be streamed on PS5 using a PS Plus premium membership are not compatible, says Sony. So the PlayStation Portal is really a way to stream your PS5 game you already have installed on your PS5 onto a handheld for remote play. You'll need an internet connection of at least 5 Mbps, and Sony is recommending 15 for the best experience. PlayStation Portal does not have Bluetooth, so you won't be able to connect wireless headphones to the PlayStation Pro or Portal. You can buy, Devroro.
Yeah, I know.
The newly announced PlayStation earbuds.
PlayStation earbuds.
They're specifically for PlayStation. They will work. But your earbuds that you have, Devroro, can't use them. Not good. No Bluetooth. PlayStation Portal, designed to deliver low latency, lossless audio, and Sony is launching a wireless headset and buds that support the PlayStation Link. You'll be able to use this new headset or buds with a PS5 through a USB adapter, but with rumors of a PS5 Slim on its way, easy to imagine the PlayStation Link will be integrated into future PS5 models. IGN reports that the PlayStation Portal's battery size hasn't been finalized yet, so we still don't know how long the handheld will run. Sony is targeting something similar to the DualSense battery, so around 7 to 9 hours.
Oh, that's crazy. That's good.
So, let's break it down. What are your thoughts overall of the PlayStation Portal?
I don't know who this is for, but I will say that all the positives outweigh the negatives for this device.
Oh.
If you are a primary PlayStation and you also like your Switch a lot, because I play my Switch almost entirely in handheld. I don't play it any way else. So if you're like a hardcore PlayStation gamer who likes to play in their bedroom, in the couch, in the bathroom, whatever, then I guess get it. The $200 price tag isn't that bad. In my opinion, it's not that bad.
So,
but I just don't know. The bad stuff about it isn't what takes me out of it. It's I don't know who this is for, because you can only play locally. That's the thing that takes me out of it. The only playing locally, and it's not a Switch system. It's a mini, screen. Like, it looks beautiful. Like, 7-hour battery sounds amazing.
Sure.
I just don't know who it's for. That's my main thing.
So my take on it is kind of flip side of yours. I think that the negatives far outweigh the positives of the device.
Not at all.
So here's my thing. Number one,
we went how long with the Switch without Bluetooth? There was an update for Bluetooth. What, 3-4 years after the Switch came out?
I'm not defending the shortcomings.
I'm just saying, like, it's nobody.
For me,
the things
big
that people
thing-
are crying about, or they're crying about it because they want to cry about it. It's I don't know.
For me, I think that in 2023, not having Bluetooth is stupid.
I agree.
And I'm not excusing Nintendo for it, but I'm also not going to excuse PlayStation for it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I think that that's ridiculous, especially because I would expect more from PlayStation. Would you agree with me when I say that PlayStation is probably more of a cutting edge, modern, like
technology-wise, absolutely.
That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, if anything, it's worse than PlayStation than Nintendo not.
But also, since that, like, I have never used headphones for my Switch ever. Wired, Bluetooth.
So, number 2, and again, maybe this is just something that's not period, but I think the limitations of this. So like, the fact that nothing is on the console is that it's just streaming.
Oh yeah.
So like, here's the thing: if I'm taking something on the go like that, most of the time I'm doing it is probably somewhere that doesn't exactly have Wi-Fi or good Wi-Fi. So like, I would just not be using this device at all.
No.
Like,
the thing is though, it doesn't leave your house. This device stays at home. It's not like you go to.
See, I don't understand.
Yeah.
That at all.
It's not like you come to my house. I have good Wi-Fi. You connect, and now you're playing your PS5. No, you're playing this at home with your PS5 at home.
See, if I want to take my PS5 games on the go, though, I want to be able to play it on the device wherever. If I'm traveling, for example, if I'm on a road trip and we're driving, I want to be able to take out my PS5 portal, or sorry, my PlayStation portal, and like turn it on. There's there's the game.
I absolutely agree. That's
what I want to see out of
that's the biggest
cloud gaming.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when I said
Not
that.
while
Like,
you're driving, please.
That's what I meant when I said that's the biggest downside for me, is that you can only play locally. Even though,
but for me, that's the deal breaker.
Oh yeah, then
That's
it's not for you.
Well,
I get it,
but I'm just saying in general. I think as a product, it's like, what is, like, to your point? I guess
who's it for? Right?
We agree.
Yeah,
I'm just choosing to be more focused on what I think is the deal breaker, and you're focusing on what you think is positive. It's fine, but I just think, like, again, like, who is this for? What is the purpose of this device? Why, like, what's the elevator pitch of why, as a gamer, I need to buy this? Like, you could make an elevator pitch for the Nintendo Switch, where it's like, it's locally on the system, you take it with you, you can play it anywhere. Bam, that's the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch for this is that it's the DualSense, and like, that's great, but like I think I can't do anything with that.
I think the elevator pitch is you can play your PS5 games anywhere in the house.
House.
That's
stupid. That's
but
dumb.
some people want, like I said, I like the Switch that way. I like the Switch handheld. I don't want them to go back for the Switch 2 to be a TV only thing or whatever their next system is. I like having the handheld and taking it everywhere, even though I mainly play it in my house, and I bring it over here sometimes, but like 90% of the time I'm playing it in the house. Again, I wouldn't buy this if I was a PlayStation, even if I was a big PlayStation fan and I only played PlayStation, I don't think I would buy this. I don't, like, again, who is this for? But if you do want to get it, I think it's a great product at only $200. I don't see, I think the good outweighs the bad. I just don't know who it's for.
I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it for you. You don't even play your Switch handheld, so I
do when I take it on the go,
but you don't do that often.
I don't.
Yeah, so
but
it's not for you at all.
I've done it before. I don't mind taking a game with me on the go.
If your wife was a big PlayStation fan, I can see her getting something or wanting something like this. You know what I mean? She can play it. She doesn't have to be sitting on the couch. And she can take it anywhere she wants in the house. Again, it's in the house.
But is it worth $200? Is that worth $200? Like, I'd pay $60 for that. Like, I would pay the price of the controller for that.
But the only reason I would say yes is because I do think it's a good looking device. It's a 7-hour battery is insane. If that's true, we don't know if that's true or not. I don't believe that it's a 7-hour battery. That sounds insane. But like, yeah, if you're at home and like your PlayStation's the one you play, and some, like, I don't know, gives you another option to play at home.
I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to. I mean, I don't think we disagree.
No, we both don't think. We both don't know who it's for. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the news headlines. Let's dive into the game releases of the week real quick, coming out this week on August 28th, the week of August 28th. Today, Crossfire Sierra Squad came out on PSVR 2. Goodbye Volcano High came out on PS5, PS4, and PC. And Samba de Amigo Party Central came out on Switch today. Sea of Stars also came out today on PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. It was a day one Game Pass launch title.
That game's getting a lot of great reviews.
And I really want to play it. It looks like my game. Under the Waves comes out also today. So I guess today was a pretty big day. For PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Somerville finally comes to PlayStation consoles tomorrow. No, 31st, so 2 days from now. This week is all messed up because of Starfield. Trine 5, A Clockwork Conspiracy comes out on PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC on August 31st. 30XX comes out on Switch as well on September 1st. And also on September 1st, it's not the technical release, but it is the early access of Starfield.
It's here. Or it will be
It's
very
almost
soon.
here.
Yeah.
Let's get into the topic of the show, which is... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. The topic is Starfield.
Starfield.
But it's funny that if the deal doesn't go through, if maybe they did all this just to get Starfield as an exclusive, like, oh well, I guess we don't own the company and still have Starfield. Yes.
We're so close to Starfield. So I was mad because I actually messed up my days because I'm off on Thursday, and for some reason I had it in my brain that Starfield early access came out on the 31st.
Yeah.
But apparently it's the 1st. So I'm like really upset because it's like,
when's your next day off after that?
Inflating
Sunday.
these days.
Yeah.
You may wonder why Mint is deflating.
I'm gonna play it Sunday,
Yeah.
but there's a wrestling pay-per-view that night, so I know I'm gonna be somewhat busy that day. But
Yeah.
I don't know. The day after Labor Day is my next day off after that, so I'm gonna be playing a lot on that. But
Something I want to know,
Yeah.
since we're talking about Starfield, is there's been a lot of news from the first announcement to now. So I want to know, what was your journey like? I guess I'll talk about my journey, like hearing
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
updates and like positives and negatives of it. How you feel about the game?
oh, you were gonna go first? You want to?
I was just saying, like, yeah, like, so I guess we could start with the big 41-minute reveal that they had.
You mean the direct?
Because
Yeah.
I think before that we were both unsure about the game because we didn't really see much, right?
I wasn't unsure.
You wasn't unsure. You
I
weren't
was
unsure.
not. I wasn't.
Okay.
I guess yeah. So
I was definitely unsure until that 41 minute. Okay, this is what the game is, because they talked about it a lot and everyone assumed it was Skyrim in space, but that isn't.
I mean, I was unsure about what exactly the game was going to be.
Yeah, that's
but like in terms of quality, honestly, I just have a lot of faith in the team at Bethesda. I mean, like they're not like the direct definitely like solidified it.
Yeah, that's what I
Going into the direct. I mean, we talked about it where it's just like I just have faith.
See, I didn't have, because it was kind of the same way you feel about Rockstar right now, where it's like you're only as good as the last thing you put out. I think that's like a thing that people have in their heads.
Sure.
And Fallout 76 fell flat for me, and for a lot of people, I guess it was like a disappointment. So that's where my brain was. Bethesda's also not a company known for polish, even though like we're hearing otherwise on this. Great, but
Right.
I
think that like again, I always had faith in the project. I always had faith in Bethesda, and like when they delayed the game last year, like by a whole year, I was like, okay, they're really hammering this in.
Yeah, because that release date.
A lot of people were like doom and glooming it, and like for me, like my initial gut reaction may have been like, oh, that's not good, but like to take that year and polish it. I mean, and we've heard from like the Discord server guy who broke embargo by accident, was like, oh yeah, no, the game's actually the game has no bugs. I was 15 hours in with no bugs, and like people didn't believe him.
Yeah,
It's like I really believe, like I believe in this game. I believe in Starfield. I believe in what it's trying to be. I mean, let's be blunt with it. Microsoft bought Bethesda to make sure Starfield showed up on Xbox consoles, period.
yeah.
It wasn't even about it being exclusive. They went and bought it because Sony
Was threatening to buy it. Yeah,
Sony said, we are going to make Starfield an exclusive.
yeah,
And Xbox was like, we're done. Just open the checkbook.
yeah.
So like, I mean, in terms of the journey, like for me, it's just been a anticipation. I mean, while I really love JRPGs, I love RPGs in general. Western RPGs are no exemption there. Very excited for it. I've always been more of a Fallout guy as opposed to an Elder Scrolls guy in terms of Bethesda specifically.
Okay.
I love Fallout 3. I really enjoyed Fallout 4. Freaking love Fallout New Vegas, one of my favorite games. That's a buggy. So, if I can make it through Fallout New Vegas, I'm sure I'll be fine making it.
I will say the bugs never bothered me. As long as it's nothing game breaking, the bugs are always funny and like, oh, I died and I have to reload, or like
Yeah.
I maybe had to restart my Xbox once or twice through my whole Skyrim run. So it's like that's never been like a big issue.
For sure. And I
it
think
bothers a
that
lot of
like
people.
so like in terms of again, like you talk about Starfield and just like waiting and you get to that direct. And like that direct and really their entire summer showcase after the bad taste of Redfall was just such an important moment.
It was
for
much
them.
needed.
It was so badly needed. And so to get them in there and let them do their thing, and Bethesda just, they were like, hey, here's 40 minutes. And nothing to me screams confidence in your game more
Like showing 40 minutes
than
of it.
showing 40 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
This is not a curated demo. This is not like a 5-minute walkthrough of a level. Like this is 40 minutes to an hour, whatever it was, of like the ebbs and flows, getting into the nitty gritty of the game.
I'm glad that people are playing it. I'm glad that Ty's playing it and he's blinking, and like people are liking the game. You know what I mean? Like, because if it wasn't for that, every time I hear a news story about the game, it takes a little bit away from me. Since the beginning,
Right.
I don't want a 1,000 planet game. I don't want a 100 solar system game. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yet it's working. You know what I mean? People are loving it. I wanted a game where dynamic landing, where you can fly your ship onto a planet, no cutscene, no loading, just on the planet off the thing. Because I just love that kind of stuff. I love in like No Man's Sky, you can get in your ship and just fly into space, and there's nothing in between. There's no walls in between. Or I think of even Black Flag, you jump on a pirate ship and you're just gone. You know what I mean? There's nothing in between that, and that took it away from me. But again, it's working. People like that. I'm still on the fence about no vehicles on planet. You land on a planet and you have to walk anywhere, and on a large planet and there's no vehicles. It's like one of those things where it's like, I assume it works. People are loving the game, so I don't know. I just have to see it all.
Here's what I'll say. I think that the lack of vehicles is balanced out by. Well, I mean, let's talk about Planet Gate.
Planet Gate, yeah.
So obviously, for those who aren't aware, the news came out in terms of Starfield. How you travel across around a planet is you choose where you land, and it generates that area, and there's a certain barrier that you can't walk. So like you can't walk around the entire circumference of any planet. Me personally, and I think we're going to disagree on this, and that's fine. I would prefer a more curated experience. I didn't want to be able to walk around the entire circumference of every planet if there was that many planets. Like that sounds like a bit too. It sounds like a lot too much, not a bit. So I think by curating the experience and being like, hey, you can go to 1,000 different planets. You can land. I mean, you're saying it's only certain locations. I thought they said you could land wherever you want.
They say that, but there's like I guess
up a barrier, but you can't.
But I think there's like sections off. So like I think you can technically walk around the entire planet, but I think there's a loading screen when you reach a wall and there's a loading screen and it loads in the next area, and then you can keep going.
Yeah, I just don't see a problem with that.
I don't know.
I just don't see the problem. But I think that
people are expecting, even me. I'm in this group. They were expecting something more like No Man's Sky, but with a better story, a Bethesda story. Because I think Bethesda's games are all about the story.
I think you're going to see Starfield be a more filled galaxy guy.
In terms of, I think story-wise, yeah, but other than that, I can't see it.
I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited for the game. I think that, like, look, I mean, I've said it on the podcast, and maybe it's a hot take. I don't think it is, but it's just like, I don't need every game to take up the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, I want to play a lot of different games. Like, I am not a one game a year kind of guy. I'm not a buy a game every 6 months kind of guy. Like, that's just not how I consume games. Like, I at most, I like to, like, at the very most, a month is the most I want to spend playing a video game. Because, like, there's always something else to play. And I want to experience as many great games as I can. So I like, that being said, like, things happen. Like, Tears of the Kingdom, I played for 200 hours straight, and I think that dipped in June. So, like, it totally happened. It's not that it doesn't happen.
There are a lot of people who like to get lost in the world. You know what I mean?
I do too, but then there gets to a point where it's like, well, I want to make sure I'm doing something in the world at the same time. I don't want to just get lost. I want to get lost in it and experience feeling, if that makes sense. But like that being said, like I'm really excited for Starfield. What I find super amusing and hilarious is the amount of people that are just trying to hate on the game that's not even out yet, that they know nothing about.
Yeah.
So I told you about this before we went live, but I'll share it with all of our wonderful viewers and producer Jeff as well. So in Starfield, you can go to our solar system. You can do that. That's something that in the game you can do. And people were trying to make it a thing. It's like, oh, you can't land on Jupiter. And they were like, what do you mean you can't land on Jupiter? What a disappointment this game. Deborah, would you like to explain why you can't land on Jupiter?
Hello, everyone. This is science class. Jupiter is a gas planet. Can't land.
Mr. Devroro. Why can't you land on a gas planet?
Because it's gas.
Yeah, there is no solid surface on a gas giant. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, you're expelled.
I mean, there may be like a rocky core, but it ain't nothing you're gonna land on.
No, I know, but again, like it's just this weird discourse of like we need to make sure that this game is hated as much as possible. It's sad to see.
I do think a game should be scrutinized, especially
Yeah, but like that.
as we're oh no, that's dumb. But like as we're getting closer, something that I think either you or Ty or both of you have said a couple weeks ago that this is as important to Xbox as Halo was.
Yes, yeah, I think I said that.
Yeah.
If I didn't say it, I definitely agree.
And
with
I'm
it.
definitely feeling it more and more as the release date's coming
As we
up,
get
and
closer,
I'm
yeah.
like, okay, I see what they mean now, because a game that size should definitely be scrutinized, especially for Microsoft, who hasn't put out a lot of games. Everything with this whole Activision Blizzard thing, and like they need this game. They need this game really bad, and I do think it's going to be good. We both said it feels like no one's come out of the embargo and like, hey, this game's good. But if we could feel that already.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like people are posting pictures.
Yeah,
and, like,
the GIFs. People
yeah.
are tweeting. And it's like you just know.
Yeah, you know that this game is great, and like you're gonna enjoy your time in it, that's what I'm happy for. That's what I wanted to know.
So Mr. Matty Plays on YouTube. He was tweeting that he put out a non-Starfield related video since he started playing Starfield, and people in the comments were looking at the bags under his eyes and trying to speculate how good of a game Starfield was by the bags of his eyes.
That's funny.
And Maddie was like, "It is ridiculous."
Yeah.
Like people want to know, and we're gonna find out in 2 days on the 31st. That's when the review embargo lifts.
And I will say that all the things that you didn't want, if you want to walk around the entire planet, if you want vehicles, if you want dynamic landing, all that will be coming with on PC with mods. Mods are gonna enhance this game so much.
That's what's great about Bethesda, though, is that they are very mod friendly.
Yeah, they're very friendly with their mods.
To come. They want people to mod their games.
People are gonna mod the hell out of this game, and they're gonna make everything that everyone else wanted. There's gonna be motorbikes. There's gonna be Thomas the Tank Engine.
I was actually just about to say I really want a Thomas the Tank Engine spaceship mod.
Eventually, they're gonna.
Where I'm just like flying through space. And
someone is going to put entirety of Skyrim on a planet. That's gonna happen. If it's not already a thing, it's gonna happen in mods. So that's the exciting part. That's fun.
So, Deborah, I want to ask you, in terms of Starfield, when you play Starfield, what is your what kind of player are you going to be? Like, what are you going to do?
I'm going to stick true to myself. I
always do that too.
Yeah, I'm going to spend an hour or two or however long it is in character creation. Yeah, I'm going to stick to myself, what I would do in a situation, at least for my first playthrough. This is the kind of game that I probably will only play through once. I'll probably make one character. I don't know if we talked about New Game Plus.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
But from things that I've read about it or what it could be, that just sounds awesome. So I can see this me playing a one character for this playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just going to play true to myself. I'm excited for shipbuilding. I don't really care about colony building.
Yeah, if you ask me what the one thing about Starfield I don't care at all about, it's that. I don't care about the colony building. They tried it in Fallout 4 with the community thing. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, the settlements.
Yeah, it did nothing for me. I didn't care about it at all.
So
I don't Sorry,
go ahead. No, I was gonna say the one thing is I interrupted you, but the one thing is they said that when you build a base, you can mine resources while you're not there, and you can come back and pick up those resources. And if you find, if you land on a planet that has rare metals or rare whatever, that might be cool. You know what I mean? Something small, a small base where you can just go pick up your your resources, your
Well,
gold.
my initial thought in terms of exploring is like, there's 1,000 of these planets.
Yeah.
That am I gonna want to go back to old planets like once I'm done with that planet? Like, no, I don't know if I will. I like obviously the story will have me probably going to like those big main hubs a few times, a lot of times I would
Yeah.
imagine. But like, I don't know if I really have a lot of interest in like setting up a settlement and like what's gonna happen is I'm gonna set up a settlement and I'll set someone there and I'll never go back.
Yeah, that's another thing. That could be cool though, because you can get a lot of characters.
Right.
What if you want to get rid of a character in turn for another one? Send them to a settlement. Maybe you just have one settlement where all of your people live.
Yeah, I get
Stuff
that,
like
and,
that.
I think it's cool to have it.
I think about Skyrim where I had you get a house in Whiterun, the big city there, and I just remember having a chest full of dragon bones. One day I'm gonna turn this into armor or something like that. But I was like, empty Lydia, put all her stuff in the chest, just dragon bones, and I'll just go back out and adventure. So maybe it'll be fun. I'm more excited for shipbuilding. I think that looks really cool. You spend a lot of time in your ship, so it makes sense. You can customize and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Like, I haven't really decided in terms of like this stuff. Yeah, I think the inspiration will strike me when it comes to playing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the story. I'm looking forward to going through. Much like you said, I'm the kind of player when I play these games, like I'm very much me. You know what I mean? Like I try to make decisions based off how I would actually react in that moment. Which always has me end up being kind of more of a good guy.
Okay.
Just kind of like,
yeah,
I always just lean that way. Like I'm not the kind of guy, like I'm like people that play like Fallout and stuff and like they kill everyone in the town. It's like now you can do anything in the town. Like,
oh yeah,
kill everybody.
no, yeah.
Like
that's
so, like
Forrest. Forrest kills everyone.
Yeah, right.
That's all he does.
And then he doesn't experience the, like the megaton side quest.
All you have left are kids because you can't kill them. So, how do you feel? Are you gonna do anything? Because Bethesda's really good at also having mods on the console. They're able to like, So, are you gonna do anything with mods?
It depends. Like, I don't want to say straight up no.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm probably gonna like just not pay attention to them until I'm done with the game, and then
go back and
no, but at that point I might be done with.
You don't want a TIE fighter or an R-wing or an X-wing?
Would be really cool. Don't. Maybe I will.
You want to play as Fox? You don't want
to? Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
We'll see what happens.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Nintendo, take notes.
People are gonna. I get to see people doing what they did with Dreams. Remember PlayStation's Dreams and like making their own like a Nintendo world with Pokemon or something. Like they're gonna do so much with mods. There's already creatures out there. You just gotta like reskin them into Pokemon.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
So I really hope that like I can't wait to go to our solar system and go to all of our planets. For some reason you can't go to Jupiter. But no, I really want to go to Earth. And I really badly want it to be like the Fallout universe.
If it's not,
that's something I so badly want it to be. I want to land on Earth.
Earth fell into war, so we had to leave, kind of thing.
Yeah, I do want it to tie into Fallout. I won't be disappointed if it doesn't, but I would love it so much if it was like.
The hard thing is Fallout takes place in the 50s. Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter in the world of Starfield. This is a whole universe thing. They could be well ahead.
Exactly, that's the thing. You could argue they're just humanoids on a different.
And imagine, how in all the Fallout games there's a UFO crash site. Imagine if it's like they tie it in like that. Oh, dude, that sounds so good.
So I saw someone say this on Twitter the other day, and it because I played Fallout 3. I love Fallout 3. I played all the DLC for it. Mothership Zeta is one of the DLCs. Someone was like, "Bro, what if you come across Mothership Zeta in Starfield?"
That you should definitely.
I'd be like, oh, I would lose
it. A given.
I would love it.
Isn't there a gun hidden in? Yeah, it's like you get that gun. Yeah.
So, man,
something like that should 100% happen.
The most devastating thing, and I had a really bad day today. Like, shit. The most devastating thing that happened to me today was I realized that Starfield was on Friday and not Thursday because I'm off on Thursday.
Yeah.
I didn't take off for Starfield, but I was like, oh, that's a really nice. Like, I'm gonna pick up Starfield. Gonna play it. I have it preloaded already. First time I've ever preloaded a game. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I've never done it before. Like I've always just like.
If you were gonna preload a game, this is the game to preload.
Like
especially at 125 gigs.
Always been the kind of guy where it's just like. So like what I do is like I'll go pick up the game, and then like I'll grab food.
Yeah.
And I'll come back. I'll put the game in, and then I'll just like hang out, eat lunch before the game starts.
You also have really good internet here, so like a download is what, an hour maybe.
Props to Bethesda though. So I don't know if you know this. They put out their day one patch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So actually, I have to go on there and I have to install it.
Okay.
So get the day one patch,
That's great.
isn't it? Because
Yeah.
it's like you're gonna be ready to go.
Yeah.
Like just go, enjoy the game. Go try landing on Jupiter. See what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so I can't wait for this.
We'll be talking about it.
And like you said, the New Game Plus, they're gonna have ways to incentivize players who do repeat New Game Pluses. I think that's really cool. That's something that is just
Keep everything and start the game over. Like, I don't know. So I have a hard time finishing Bethesda games because of all the side missions.
really
Main quests is like their main storyline quests are really, really short if you just play the main story, but they fill that in with all the side stuff. So
Right.
I'm the person that does all the side stuff
me too.
and get 75% done through the main story, and I'm like, I've played this game for 100 hours. I'm okay.
Always got to finish.
Yeah. I think this will be something I finish.
I wish you were jumping into it sooner.
Yeah. Got a
You
lot
gotta
going
do it.
on.
I think you got to.
I know.
I think you just got to bite the bullet. Get in there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh man. Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess so. The next time we talk,
Yeah. Next podcast will be about.
it'll be me talking about Starfield.
Yeah.
It's gonna be me saying all that I've played.
We'll see. Maybe we can get Ty on for.
Yeah, maybe we'll get him on and we'll have like a discussion. Definitely not a review, because God, I'm I'm gonna need more time than that.
Better record some gameplay, damn it.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out. This is so yeah, Starfield's coming out early access this Friday, and like I can't say enough about how great of a deal it is. It's like, look, if you have Game Pass, you can get 5-day early access, the first story content, a steel bookcase, the art book, the soundtrack for $35. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's 5-day early access and the first DLC for the game. Like,
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you get the first
Oh, yeah.
DLC.
yeah, it comes out with the first story expansion. So, while I'm still playing Starfield, the first story expansion will come out. That is one thing I'm terrified. I am
Yeah.
terrified of, like, how long am I going to be playing Starfield? Okay, go ahead. Devroro is so excited for Starfield.
Yeah, I can't hold my excitement
He's so excited he's leaving. He has left the building.
right now.
He's going to buy an Xbox Series X, and he's going to he's gone. So here's the thing about Devroro. Like, the guy doesn't like Japanese, which I think is really weird. I just think it's the weirdest thing. He has like a serious issue with them. He doesn't like the fact that Xbox gamers want to play Japanese made games. And I don't understand that. Really weird. Really weird take from the guy. A guy that I thought I knew. Guy that I respect very much. But yeah, so that's Devroro. No, this is Gengar. It's not Devroro. But you get my point. Anyways, all right. Well, this has been episode 37 of the Game Room podcast. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe on your way out. If you like pro wrestling, we also have the Broken Tables podcast here on the channel. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you like video games and you like pro wrestling, this is legitimately the channel you want to be in, because we take both of those things and we smash them together on the channel. You can subscribe to become a member, get the really cool arcade cabinet for your little badge. You get the wrestling emojis, a bunch of really cool stuff there. So yeah. Anyways, let's not talk about what I said about Devroro. Follow us on our social medias. We'll be back on Wednesday for the Dynamite review. Till next time, see you guys later.